everybody. Welcome back to Contest of Speed AM2 Round 5. Today we are here at Monza. We will see how this goes, but first let's look at our standings. We will first start with our driver's standings. Dog is on top, but he has departed this week. He has moved up to AM1. So Electric Blade technically leads the standings with 62 points. Then we got F7R in P2, Stubbly P3, Nick P4, Matt P5, Mail P6, Orlando P7, MVD P8, Fuse P9, and DK rounding out your top 10. I know it says they're in the incorrect positions, but again, that is because Redog has left AM2 and is now in AM1. And now we will look at our constructors standings here. As you can see, AlphaTauri is still on top because points do carry over from Redog for AlphaTauri, even though he has departed. Then we have Aston Martin in second, Red Bull in third, Haas in fourth, Mercedes in fifth, McLaren in sixth, Alpha in seventh, Ferrari in eighth, Williams in ninth, and Alpine in 10th. Still the only team to not score a constructor's point this season. As we will go to the game here. Oh, sorry, getting the standings off the screen there. Perfect. Just got to get everything going here. Okie dokie. And we should be good to go as I am joined by my co-commentator, Red Devil. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, Mr. B. Schultz. Good evening to everyone in the chat. I'm doing well, thank you. Looking forward to the race tonight, Temple of Speed. It should be a fun one. I'm expecting close qualifying. So yeah, excited to see what that happens, especially after Redog's departure. Should bring the grid a little bit closer, I'm hoping. But yeah. We'll see how this goes.
For sure. It should be a good one. Very, very, you would think easy track, but the couple corners they do have here tend to be a bit trickier. So we'll see how everybody fares. You want lots or not very much downforce. So it makes the corners tricky. But lots of straights here. So yeah, definitely don't want to run a lot of downforce at all.
Yeah, especially around Ascari and the Parabolica, very hard corners, I think, especially for me. So yeah, hopefully these drivers can nail that lap. I think Stubbly is out. Is the first one. He is now in the Curva Grande, heading towards turn 4, Della Roja.
As we do only have 13 participants for round 5 tonight. A 14th might be joining us in between qualifying, but a very small grid tonight. So if you survive, that means you should get points.
I think he has joined. He's just waiting to pick a car at the moment. But as we look at Stubbly, he's going around in sector 2 through the Ascari chicane. Takes up, he goes through that corner pretty well. He took a lot of the curbs, did not unsettle his car. He's going through the final turn, Parabolica. Very hard to nail this corner.
Also, yeah, there
You
is
might see a lot of people going into the barriers there
for sure.
as he
Also,
crosses
sorry,
the line with the 19.4. Apologies.
that's okay. So just a little thing as well. I know there's not a lot of corners here, but the corners are also very easy to invalidate on.
As Bonini is crossing the line with a 19.3, puts him P2. Believe F7RJ's, no, his teammate Firegab is about to cross the line. And he sets a provisional pole of a 19.1.
As Chaggerty's about to cross the line, and he's going to set a 20.8 to slot him P4 at the moment.
The Williams looks like they're working together. E. Warren getting a little bit of a tow from his teammate. He goes P4 with a 19.9. Deathstorm doing a 127. Believe he's starting his lap though, so
As it looks like
uh,
DK may have gotten a little bit of tow from his teammate here. If you can play the teammate game, you do get a little bit extra down the straight, probably 1 to 2 tenths, depending on what straight your teammate wants to tow you down. As DK takes the wide approach through there, and he's going to set a 20.2 to put him P5 after the first
Electric
round.
Blade is about to cross the line. He goes P5, knocking DK down with a 120.0.
As I think the only other person going to be starting a lap is Matt Duo here, so we'll go on board with him as he's warming up those tires. Looks like he's going to go straight into the barrier, but he does not. As we'll see, you want to get a good run out of turn 11 here, so you can get as much speed as you can before you start crossing the line. As we'll take you through a lap with Matt Duo here. Barreling down into turn 1. Very tricky, right then left with the little downforce that you're going. But he holds it nicely, stays off the exit curb to make sure he doesn't get in the grass. You want to hug this inside here as close as you can. As he's barreling down into turn 4 and 5 here. Very tricky set of corners here. As it looks like he took it very nicely. Now turns 6 and 7 here. Very easy to invalidate on both these corners, but he looks like he's keeping it in track limits. Looks very smooth through there. Coming up now to turns 8, 9, and 10. Also very easy to invalidate on entry. You got to make sure you do not cut the corner too soon. As again, it looks like he's keeping it nicely there. Hits a little bit of curb out of 10. As he's only got one more corner to go. In my opinion, you want to brake early and then hug the inside as much as you can. But lots of drivers rolling out wide here. As he's going to come to the line and he's going to set a 120.3 to put him P7. Very respectable lap right there.
I think Orlando is about to start his lap. Probably the only car doing a fast lap at the moment.
As luckily the Mercedes stays out of his way. Looked very smooth through 1 and 2 for Orlando right there. For 4 and 5, you want to try and clobber the curb, but it's very close. You got to hit it perfectly to not invalidate. If not, your car takes off like a rocket ship. And then you got the big sausage curb in 5. Purple sector
Yeah,
1.
those two are some of the worst corners on this track. As Deathstorm, meanwhile, does a second push lap. He improves by a tenth, but does not improve his position. Stays P8.
As E. Warren slotted P4. I'm pretty sure we see that high before. Maybe more
I
people
think
have
so,
set
yeah.
laps. Yeah, I think more people have just set laps. As Orlando does invalidate through turn 8. Like I said before, very easy to invalidate. So we'll jump off board with him and we'll go
I
on
think
board.
F7R Jace is on a hot lap. He just started one.
As he almost touches the curb there, but stays off of it.
He think he's taking a good line through here. Hugs the inside in De La Roja. Or, sorry, Curva Grande heading into De La Roja.
As I noticed, he took a little bit less curb in turn 4 there, but he had a very nice line, it looked like. Looked nice and smooth. Uses a bit of curb on the outside, but not enough to invalidate. Again, through turn 7. Looks very smooth so far. 53.2 is his second sector split. No purple sector. As he runs a bit deep through there, but I think he'll be okay. Uses all the curve on the outside there. Now he's barreling down to turn 11. Gotta just hit your last braking zone and then you're home free. but you want to be
Looking like
careful.
a 100, 120, I'm assuming, if I had to predict.
Be careful on the entry into turn 11, though. You definitely do not want to hit the grass, as Red Devil's spot on a 20.2 to put him P6.
Looks like our provisional pole sitter, F7RJ's teammate, is about to finish his lap. Gets a little bit of a tow from the AlphaTauri. He's a tenth and a change up on his best time.
As we're on board with Fiverr here, he's going to get a little bit of tow from the Mercedes, but probably not enough to do anything. As Firegab sets a 19.0 to improve his pole time at the moment. As Fiverr sets a 20.0 to put him P6, looking to score the first points of the season for Alpine.
Let's see who else is on the lap here. Warren? No, Warren has invalidated. Spanini looks like our P3 is about to finish his hot lap.
As JDTV soars up the timesheets with a 20.0, put him P5. We'll see where Spanini goes.
Spanini, he's about to cross the line, and he goes P2. That's a fantastic lap from the Alfa Romeo driver. Just a tenth, under a tenth off from Firegab.
As it doesn't look that Alp, that is that Stubley? Yeah, Stubley's coming to finish his lap here. We'll see what he can do. Just a reminder, everybody, there is a prediction in chat for the different constructors finishing in the top 5 tonight. Make sure you use your channel points and get those predictions in, as Stubley marginally improves with a 19.481, just by 9 thousandths of a second. Still putting on P3 at the moment, as it looks like Orlando is starting his next lap.
DK just crossed the line. He was slower than his first lap, and he stays in P9. So not a lot of people improving at the moment. Think they're just matching their first lap times here. As Chaggerty, who is a little bit of ahead of Orlando, passing through the second sector, is 3 tenths up. He's up, right up to cross Parabolica. Takes a good line, hugs the inside, and then throws the car wide, and then it's just licking the inside corner, and he sets a 124. Takes him up only a position to P11.
As we'll go on board with Orlando here, as he did not invalidate through 9 and 10 this time. See if he can hit his braking zone, make sure to get off the grass. Looks pretty smooth through turn 11 here. We'll see where this slots him. Looks like it's going to be a pretty decent lap, as it's a 19.5 to put him P4 with 5 minutes remaining in qualifying.
That's a really good lap from the McLaren driver. He would want to get a good result, especially after a very positive one. I think in Singapore, probably would say he's not has the had the best of starts than he would have wanted, but hopefully he can pick up. Matt Duo is about to do a hot lap. He's just past the first sector. He's a little bit up on his time, not a lot, under a tenth. Going
For
through
sure.
Lesmo.
As Haas is going to take a hit in the constructors tonight, as both their drivers have not shown up tonight, unfortunately. So we'll see where that all shakes out. But yes, a very interesting race last week at Singapore. The stream got a little bit weird in the end, but we did get the finishing order all set. So that was good. The finishing order that you saw at the end of the stream last week was the correct order before penalties. But yeah, I mean, at least the race we watched, it looked pristine. But unfortunately, it was not the actual race going on, as Matt Duo
Yeah,
sits at 19.6.
yeah, it was pretty fun to watch, not gonna lie. But yeah, it was unfortunate. Apologies again. But yeah, it's the game. What can you do at this point?
As Deathstorm sets about 9 seconds off the pace there, I think it was. So it looks like he's going to do another lap here. He's not blinking, so he's not saving. Looks very smooth through 1 and 2 there. Got a little bit of wheel spin on the exit.
Meanwhile, in other news, Electric Blade is about half a tenth up, or half a second, sorry, in through the Ascari going through the final corner here, coming into Parabolica.
Also, great
Take-
qualifying by Spanini so far, as he did miss last week as well.
That's a good lap from the Red Bull driver. He goes into P3, provisional P3 with a 19.3. Spunini has been, I think he's been qualifying well. His races, I think he's wrecked a couple of times, unfortunately. So
As
it's not been the best for him.
Kane retires on track. Really gotta stop with these retiring on track, everybody. We've been
Was
in the
that a
league.
retirement or did he just bend it into the wall?
I don't know. His car looked like it was still going after he retired, but I could be mistaken.
Got it.
As Deathstorm invalidated his lap, so he's going to dive back in the pits here. Very intrigued to see if he'll be able to get out to start another lap. As the final laps will be coming to you here in a second. As we're going to go with JDTV, I guess, because it looks like he'll be the first one to start. As Death retires in pit road, so he's going to start from 13th. Little bit low after his 7th place finish last week, but we'll see what he can do from the back of the grid. As MVD is in the chat cheering on his McLaren teammate.
Unfortunate for MVD, isn't able to race tonight, but he's showing his support for his teammate. A lot of people coming out for their hot laps. Not too much action at the moment. I think JD will be the first to start his.
It's very difficult to pick your, as Electric Blade retired, I think that's in pit road, so his
Yes.
qualifying is done for the night. But very difficult to pick your braking zone into turn one, I find. I find you got to brake at a different spot every time. I think I'm just bad, but as JD is marginally down by 1/10, but I'm sure there's still lots of time to gain in the final two sectors here.
Yeah, turn one is tricky. You have to take enough curb, but not too much. If not, it'll just throw your car and you just lose all traction going into Curva Grande.
Yeah, as it looks like JD did back out of his lap because he was blinking, so we're going to go on board with Orlando here.
He was down by a tenth in his first sector, so hopefully for his sake he improves.
Also, the car is very loose here on exits, I've noticed, through 6 and 7. So you got to be very mindful of that as well to not invalidate. So it's very tricky, the few corners there are.
Behind Orlando is F7 RJs. He's a tenth up on his time.
As I didn't get to see Orlando's second split time, but his lap has looked pretty tidy so far. We'll see where he slots in here.
Chaggerty, the Ferrari, also improving by 2/10 through the first sector.
As Orlando's about to cross the line, he's going to put a 19.2 to move him up to P3. That is a great lap from him right there.
Oh, as Fire Gap gets loose in turn one and is quali is done.
Well, we'll go on board with his teammate here, see if his teammate can qualify close to Fire Gap there as he's rounding the final corner here. He's going to set
Unfor-
a 19.8, which will move him up into P7, but that is qualifying done for F7R.
Bonini as well is invalidated. Meanwhile, Stubley is going through the first sector and he is almost 2/10 up on his time.
As Chaggerty is going to set a 20.2 just to put him P11. As DK is going to cross the line with a 20.1 to put him P11 to move Chaggerty back down to P12. As Fiverr is going to cross the line here, and he's not going to improve, I don't think. As it looks like E. Warren is going to be the next driver to cross the line here. We'll see if he can improve on his lap. And he's going to set a 19.8. One and a half
Stubley looks
tenths
like
up.
the nearest challenger. He did lose time on his lap. He's about a tenth up, uh, looking to see if he gained any time, and he does not. He lost a lot of time coming through Ascari. That keeps him in P5, and that is the end of qualifying.
I'm going to turn my mic up just a hair because I was told that it was a bit low. Do that in between qualifying here. But this is your qualifying order. We have 14 participants tonight. We'll see how the race goes. It should be a quick one, but we will see. Make sure. Oh, the prediction is now closed, so hopefully everybody got their channel points in there.
Oh damn! I did not. I forgot. Well, hopefully nobody in the chat did.
But put your predictions in chat for who you think is going to win the race, everybody, as we're going to take you through the qualifying order. We have Fire Gab on pole, Spanini P2, Orlando P3, Electric Blade P4, Stubbly P5, Matt P6, Warren P7, F7R P8, JD P9, Fiverr rounding out your top 10. You have DK starting 11th, Chaggerty 12th, Deathstorm 13th, and Kane from the last spot on the grid. You do only have to pass 4 drivers here to get into the points tonight. So as long as you survive, you should be in good position. But let's see how this race goes.
Hopefully we get no retirements, so we'll have the entire field finishing the race. As Madio has unfortunately left the session, I'm gonna send him out an invite as soon as I can.
As the last 3 weeks in AM2, we have had rain. It looks okay for now, but it also looked okay the last 3 weeks, and rain came out of nowhere, so we'll see. I'm sure the drivers are hoping for a dry race for once, but we will see once the race progresses. Only 27 laps around here, so it should be a pretty quick lap. 2 DRS zones out of turn 7 and out of turn 11. It should be a good one. Hopefully not too many safety cars. We do like seeing green flag racing, but after the first race of the season at Japan, we have seen a lot cleaner and better racing from our AM2 competitors, so we'll hope that that continues tonight.
Yes, I was just able to get Madio on here. Hopefully he can pick his strategy and his tires and set his fuel and setup. Yeah, I think hopefully we get a clean turn 1. Tonight in EU2, or this evening, they had a pretty good start. No safety cars. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the EU2 race. So hopefully we get a clean start.
Yes, that's always the scary part, especially starting on pole. You got 13 other competitors barreling towards you. You just hope you don't get tagged from behind, but you just got to hope and pray. There's not much you can do about that. Hopefully everybody hits their braking zones. Got to remember, brake a little bit earlier, everybody. Yeah, you can't go anywhere if there's a car right in front of you, so just got to be patient. Long, long race. As
Uh,
it sounds like the timer's going, so it sounds like they'll be starting here in a second. But
do you
it'll be
think anybody is bold enough to put on softs?
that's what I was thinking. I know a lot of leagues that race around here, they do run the soft compound tire. But we'll see if any of these guys, as 5 lights are out, and away we go. Again with the AI. AIs always have the best starts. It looks like Matt Duo with his AI is going to have a great start there, but Spanini is already getting past on those soft compound tires, as I don't know what just happened with that Aston Martin, but it looks like everybody's clean through turn 1 at the moment. Spanini does make the pass. Matt Duo is dropping down the order as Kane is up to 11th already.
That was an excellent start for the Alfa Romeo driver. On the soft tires, got a great start, and he's in first position right now, half a tenth. He'll be hoping to pull a gap, as looks like Deathstorm has left the session as well. Let me send him out an invite as soon as I can.
For sure. Matt getting a little screwed there by the AI, but we'll see if he can fight back. E Warren up into P6 now. Spanini's going to look to pull away as much as he can on those soft compound tires. We'll go through the grid here. Looks like we got Orlando on the soft compound as well as E Warren and F7R. Fiverr and JD look like they are on the soft compound as well. As we got mediums for Matt, Chaggerty. Looks like Kane is on the hard compound. So very interesting. Looks like the only driver on the hard compound as DK is going to make the pass out of turn 11.
I think Kane is going for a hard to medium or hard to soft strategy here, using the softest tires when the fuel load is as low as it can be.
As we got a big lockup, I think, from JDTV entering turn 1, but it looks like okay, as we have a car off. That is DK Nortec missing
DK.
turn 1. He's going to take the off route there. No harm, no foul. Hopefully he can make his way back up through the field. As Spanini only 8/10 ahead, so once DRS activates, they will have it behind him. He definitely wants to break that DRS. DRS is very strong around here because it is on the main straight. Very
Fire
long
Gap
DRS
looking
zone.
to use his ERS to be able to stay within Spanini's DRS for sure. As Spanini gets an excellent launch off of Scari, gained about 2 tenths there. Apologies.
As the top 4 have pulled away by a second and a half. So Stubley, well, now E. Warren will not have DRS behind, as we'll see if E. Warren can pull off the move on those soft compound tires. He's got the inside here, but Stubley's got a great run on the outside as Spanini lost 2 positions there. I'm going to guess just off of the straight line speed, but he's going to try and barrel back down into turn 1. He's just going to fall back in line here as Orlando is now leading. As Fire Gab is off the track, he's going to get a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Very intense here. We'll see. Can Electric Blade get by? He sure can.
Orlando just pulling off an amazing move there. I think he has a little bit of a higher straight line speed, and he just blitzed past Spadini, Electric Blade, and Fire Gap there.
As Orlando and all of that somehow got up to P1 with those soft compound tires. But DRS is active, so he will lose a decent chunk down the straights there.
Stubley finally gets back into the DRS, I think. No, he does not. He was marginally in, but he's out of DRS for now.
As your top 2 competitors are on the softs, and then 3rd and 4th are both on the mediums. So we'll see how that tire strategy shakes out. Stubley is catching, but not close enough to get DRS, and Warren will not have DRS behind him as well. As we'll see.
It'd be crucial to see if Warren and Stubley work together to catch back up to the top of the field.
As Spanini, we'll see if he can dive down the inside here. He's not. He's going to play it conservative. He understands that it is a very long race.
As Fire Gap is looking to make a move on the outside of Electric Blade. Going into the corner, he thinks wisely and stays behind. As Stubley is now well within the 1 second mark.
Gotta give credit to those medium tire runners, though, as Stubley's going to try and make a pass through turn 6. He's going to give it done. Fire Gap giving him plenty of space there. As the medium runners are surprisingly hanging tough with the soft runners here. Stubley out of DRS range again after making that pass on Fire Gap, as it looks like Deathstorm is out. It looks like him and Kane may have come together as they are both stopped on track, and that's going to be a VSC.
This is going to definitely help out DK. Oh, it's just a VSC. Unfortunate for him. He was down. He had a pit stop, and he's 33 seconds behind. It'll probably help the soft runners for sure. They're going to look to save their tires and take it as long as they can before, hopefully for them now, it's a viable strategy to switch on to the mediums.
Oh, for sure, as Kane did not look like he had any wing damage there, so not 100% sure what happened between him and Death. But after a 7th place finish last week for Death, I'm sure this is not how he wanted his race to go, as we are back green. Stubley falling back to 1.5 seconds out of DRS.
Think he was just asleep at the wheel there and just let the top 3 maintain a good delta, and yeah, he's lost about a second or so to the top three. His teammate Matt Duo did pass Fiverr the last lap just before the VSE. Is now trying to fight with JD and F7RJ's Warren as well for P6.
It doesn't look like anybody's going to get passed on here, so we'll go on board with JDTV as DRS trains are starting to form here. So ERS will come into play as Warren has fallen out of DRS range of Fire Gap.
Fire Gap does have a penalty, so Stubley can just use him to gain the positions,
We'll see
not fight
if
too hard.
Spanini's close enough to gain on Orlando and make the pass down into turn one. It does not look like it. I think Spanini is just trying to save some tire here as Warren is falling down a lot, loses almost 4 or 5 positions if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there. Was it a mistake, or was it just every case of everybody having the full use of DRS and ERS?
Yeah, if you are the lead car here and the others are close enough, it is very hard to hold your position down the straight if you do not have the DRS. But JD, 2 seconds behind Stubley for DRS here. He's going to be the one in trouble at the lead of that DRS train. As I think Spanini is just trying to keep up with Orlando here. I think he's trying to save a little bit of tire, not go for the pass. He knows if he goes in front, he is going to be basically left out to dry as he will no longer have the DRS.
Yeah, he's definitely saving battery as well as his tires. Not using a lot, but just using enough to keep within that 1 second mark and keep Electric Blade behind.
As it looks like Kane may have had a issue, but he has gone back going straight there.
It looks like Matt Duo made a pass on JD TV, but JD is coming back at him. Matt Duo slots back behind JD, going through the first chicane.
Ooh,
He
as
makes a move down the
F7R,
inside.
or sorry, JD and Matt Duo here, bit of wheel contact. As F7R is going to try and capitalize around the outside of Matt Duo here. Does not look like he's going to make it work. F7R is on the soft compound tire here. We'll see if he makes a lunge down into turn 4, but he's just going to stay single file.
In the meantime, Spanini has taken over the lead back again. It's now Spanini, Orlando, and Electric Blade.
Yeah,
It looks like Stubley is catching up as well. He caught at about, I would say, half a tenth there.
As Electric Blade's in prime seat right here on the medium compound tire. I'm sure those softs will not last too much longer there as we are already on lap 7. This is a very quick race if there's no safety cars because it is a relatively short lap time. As we'll see, Orlando's looking like he's getting a bit racy here. We'll see if he can get past Spanini down into turn 1. As Electric Blade, I don't know, he may have fallen out of DRS here. Orlando is gone. He's going to make the pass well before turn 1. As Electric Blade is blinking.
Electric Blade does have DRS, but has almost less than 10% ERS at the moment. Spanini goes wide going into turn 1, and he is out of the DRS. He makes a mistake going through the first chicane, and he's down by over a second.
Yeah, if I was Orlando here, I'd be using all the ERS I have to try and pull away from the DRS pack here.
Looks like that tire wear is finally starting to catch these top two. Orlando it looks like he isn't using much, but he is pulling a gap. Not sure if the Alfa Romeo had a lockup or something, which caused his tires to wear much faster. But he is losing time hand over fist to Orlando.
Yeah, Spanini's looking like he's really struggling here. Electric Blade's definitely going to want to get past him as soon as he can. I would maybe wait till the DRS straight on the front stretch, but he is definitely losing a lot of time behind Spanini right now because Orlando is gone.
He's just flying at the moment. He looks so comfortable in that car right now. He definitely looks like he has the pace. He doesn't seem to be losing a lot, using a lot of ERS as well, and he's just flying. Electric Blade, meanwhile, is making a move on Spanini. Stubbly looking to capitalize as well, but he thinks better of it.
Oh, as
Oh, as
Spanini
Spanini
is
goes,
off. I don't know if I would use that line to get back on track, but it is what it is. He's going to get snapped with a 3-second time penalty as Fire Gap's going to move through. Spanini really hurting on those soft compound tires right now. I think that is what's killing him. As Stubbly's going to go for the move down into turn 4. And he makes it successfully, as it looks like Fire Gap's going to get a run on Electric Blade here. We'll see if he can make the move in turn 6. And he is past him entering turn 6 there. Electric Blade losing a few spots.
all of this is just enabling Orlando just to open up that gap. Now the gap is up to 3.2 seconds over Stubbly. It'll be the next 2-3 laps will be crucial because Stubbly, who's on the medium, should technically be faster. We'll see if he can catch him, but he might want to use Fire Gap and Electric Blade there a little bit to catch up to Orlando.
Yeah, we'll see if Orlando short pits here. Maybe goes on the hard compound tire.
I wouldn't be surprised if Spanini went into the pits. No, he does not. He opts to go one more lap on those soft tires. Maybe he's looking to pit on lap 10 or 11.
As Electric Blade is blinking, he looked for the move a little bit down into turn 1. As Fire Gap outbrakes himself, locks up. He's going to lose one spot. Lucky not to lose the second to Spanini there as Electric Blade moves through.
Meanwhile, at the back, Matt Duo and JD and F7R still going at it for P6. Looks like they've dropped Chaggerty, and E. Warren is into the pits for a new set of medium compound tires. So he has had enough of those soft tires after 10 laps.
Yeah, so that means he's going to try and do 17 laps on the mediums. That seems like a bit of a long stint here, but we'll see how that works out for him. As Orlando still just pulling away on those soft compound tires. It looks like they're not losing any time in them at all, as Electric Blade gets a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings. So Stubbly and Orlando looking the best right now at the top of the field with no penalties.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Stubbly has opened up a gap to Electric Blade as well. He is 1.7 seconds ahead to the Red Bull driver.
As
He's still 3.5, 3.6 seconds down though, and that gap is slowly increasing by a tenth or two every lap.
As Spanini dives into the pits, no surprise there. Definitely wants to get off those tires. There's another lockup from Fire Gap into turn 1 there, but did not go deep that time, so he's a-okay. I'm sure his tires are hurting though, because he's locked up a considerable amount of times. But Orlando still just pulling out that gap to Stubbly. Orlando's looking really good on those soft compound tires still, which is surprising to me.
JD and Matt Duo resuming their battle. JD going past Matt into turn 1. I think all 3 drivers at the moment are out of all the 3 drivers. F7RJs looks like he has the most battery. The drivers ahead are blinking, so we shall see what the outcome of that battle is going to be. As Firebug is back in Stubbly's DRS and drops Electric Blade in the process.
As Matt Duo looks like he's going to try and go for the move on JDTV before the DRS zone. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done, though. It's going to be tight to see who gets DRS. Oh, as a little bit of a wiggle out of the AlphaTauri there, but he saves it. Beautiful save as he's going to go into pits here. We'll see, does Matt Duo get DRS? He does not, so F7R is going to be all over the back of him coming down into turn 1.
Interesting that F7R is still choosing to carry on along with Orlando, both on the set of soft compound tires. They've done 11 laps on lap 12. I'm guessing this is the lap they pit onto probably a set of the mediums.
Yeah,
As Stubbly has caught up to Orlando. He's closed that gap by a second almost in the last couple of laps. It's come down to 2.5 now. Stubbly on a roll here at the moment, trying to get trying to get close to Orlando as much as he can before he has to pit. Not sure what he's going to do, if he's going to go for a set of mediums or take the stint long and go onto a set of softs.
Yeah, as the field is pretty much spread out at the moment. It is pit cycle. Everybody on varying strategies. So the closest battle right now is Matt and F7R. So we'll keep it on board here. Matt is blinking. So he's below 10 ERS. F7R is also on the softs. So he may dive in here, which then will make sure the field is very, very spread out as Orlando dives into the pits. Same with Fire Gap.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fire Gap goes for the hard tire, and Orlando probably will choose the mediums from here on out to the end of the race.
As
As
F7R stays out with those soft compound tires.
Wow, that is 13. He's completed 12, going on to 13 laps. Either he's managing his tires really well, or he's just slow. I'm not able to tell which one it is, but as Spoonini gets the undercut done over Fire Gap, but he's still behind Orlando, even though he pit 2 laps earlier. Just goes to show Orlando's pace tonight. He's been a rocket ship today in the McLaren.
Yes, I have to agree. As Matt Duo is still blinking here, he looks like he's starting to struggle on his medium compound tires. We'll see if F7R has enough tire life left to get around, but it's going to be tough. And I would not be surprised to see F7R dive into the pits this time around.
Will be interesting to see what Stubbly in Electric Blade to do here. Does Stubbly react, or does he stick to a strategy that he thinks will win him the race and go long? And looks like
Yes.
he's going long. I'm probably guessing he wants to do a medium to hard or medium to soft rather. So as Electric Blade and Mad Duo F7R dive into the pits.
As we are officially halfway through this race.
Looks like
Stubbly.
Electric Blade gets a set of the hearts. Apologies there.
Oh, that's all good. Stubbly, the only guy from that lead pack, I think, that still is yet to pit. We'll see if running along helps him. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs it until he thinks he can get onto a pair of soft compound tires. I definitely would not go on the hards if you're running this long on the mediums. But we will see what his strategy is. He does have a 20-second lead, but will lose all that time in the pits. He'll definitely lose a few spots from the undercut, I think. But again, then he will have the fresher tire at the end.
Looks like E. Warren jumped F7R Jace with the undercut. He's come out ahead of the Mercedes driver, but he's 4 laps on to this strategy here with his medium. So F7R should make short work of him and catch up to Matt, who's pit for a set of the hards. So is Electric Blade and Fire Gap. Yeah, we shall see how this plays out
As
as Matt Duo gets a 3-second time penalty.
as JDTV is right on the back of Electric Blade here. I would not be surprised if he can get the pass done down into turn one. He is on the softer compound tire.
Orlando sets a fastest lap of the race with a 1:21.5.
Yeah, Orlando is definitely on the move here. Stubbly's got to be thinking the box onto softs, I would say, at the end. I'd say that's the only reason he would be staying out this long as JD makes the move on Electric Blade down into turn one.
How long do you go on the set of mediums though before you pit onto a fresh set of softs? I think softs will be able to do 10, 12 laps, but after like lap 8 or 9, they'll be crying out.
Yeah, if I was him, I would definitely come into the pit soon because you don't want to lose too much time on those used mediums
Yeah.
because then you won't be able to get any of the time back. He could be hoping for a safety car, but the field is pretty spread out, so I think the likelihood of a safety car right now is very low. Knock on wood. But let's hope the commentator curse doesn't come into effect here. But Yeah, I would say he would definitely be wanting to pitch sooner rather than
He is.
later.
He is going into the pits. It will be interesting to see what tire he chooses to put on. Is it going to be the hards? Is it going to be the softs? As Orlando is still, he's through Parabolica right now, and Stubbly is choosing a set of the soft tires.
Yeah, not surprised there. I think Stubley will lose 3 positions though, hitting that late. We'll see if he loses any more than that. As
Well,
Electric
I'm thinking
Blade.
he might lose positions through Electric Blade and JD here as well. Maybe even Matt. No, he's up ahead. So he's up into P4.
As Electric Blade makes a move on JD down into turn one there. They are having a good scrap. But JD, in reality, just needs to keep it clean here as Electric Blade in front of him does have a 3-second time penalty. As Stubley
He,
must be thinking that as well. He might not be thinking about winning the race, but he's got to be thinking 2 guys in front of me with time penalties. I just got to keep it clean and I can get a second place finish at the very least.
well, if I was Stubbly, I would want a win. So, he's on the softer tire. He would want to be making those moves as soon as he can because Fire Gab is on 3 lap old hards. Bonini on 5 lap old mediums. Should be easy enough for him. But with Fire Gap having DRS on Sponini, it might be a harder task than he would have liked. As Sponini is slowly starting to catch Orlando. Not sure if he made a mistake there. I believe going into the last lap, it was 3.5 seconds. It's come down to 2.5.
As it looks like JD is going to make a move on Electric Blade again. These two just going back and forth, trading spots down into turn one every lap. As it looks like JD TV locks up, but keeps the position. As Stubley has caught the back of Fire Gap and is now in the DRS.
Matt Duo would feel like he's lost out because he was going on with getting it on with JD, battling for P6, I believe. But he's now 3 seconds down, which is unfortunate. Hopefully, the strategy comes into play and his hearts can pull JD back into. He can pull that fifth position back.
As we're going to go on board with this late DRS train, as I'm sure Electric Blade will just keep switching spots with JDTV, as that looks like it is what happened. But we're going to go on board with these lead three, see what happened, or I guess second, third, and fourth, and see if anything can happen. We'll see if they just share DRS to try and catch back up to Orlando.
I think they've caught 0.3 tenths of a second again, but I think Orlando has the straight line speed, which is just pulling him away from the catching pack.
As we'll see, is there a 3 wide into turn one? There is not. Does Stubley get 2 positions? He does lock up, but it looks like he keeps it out of the side of the Mercedes. We'll see if Stubley can use ERS to get around Fire Gap. It does not look like it, but Fire Gap is on the hards. Stubley is on the sauce, as Stubley's going to send it into turn four. And he will make the pass. As now he's going to set his sights on Orlando here. He should be able to drag these two with him to catch up to Orlando and maybe make it a 4-car battle for the lead.
Orlando in front. He is being very smart right now. He's not using any of his a lot of his battery. He's saving up. He's saving those tires. He knows there's a battle coming in with Stubley. As F7R Jace leaves the session, let me invite him back in.
As JD swaps spots with Electric Blade again. They just keep swapping down each DRS straight. But Matt Duo is catching that battle, so he will make things more interesting. As Stubley really hasn't caught Orlando that much last lap. He most likely will get passed here by Fire Gap down into turn one. We'll see. Hopefully Fire Gap doesn't lock up this time around. As they both lock up entering turn one, positions remain the same.
This is really just helping Orlando just keep that gap, maintain the position.
As Orlando
Save his
must.
battery.
Sorry, I did cut you off there, but Orlando must have messed up because he was gaining time, and then out of nowhere, he's also lost about 5/6 of a second.
Yeah, I think he is making a couple of mistakes there, here and there, which should be an encouraging sign for Stubley.
Still lots of laps to go, though, here.
Unfortunate for Electric Blade here. He was fighting with these top guys, but looks like he's dropped back about 6 seconds now, and his chances of winning have surely diminished as the race has gone on.
As Matt Duo has caught that other pair here. Go on board, see what's going on down here. As Stubley is now within a second of Orlando. Orlando, I don't know if he's making mistakes or if Stubley's just on the move here, but now we have a 4-car battle for the top spot. As quick
If
shout
I,
out to Fiverr, looking like he could score his first points of the season for Alpine.
as F7 RJs leaves the session again, unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. Hopefully, I can get him back in as soon as possible.
As Stubley keeps locking up down into turn 1, that is definitely going to be hurting his tires. He's going to see if he makes the move down into turn 4 here. He's not. He's just going to fall back in line, but they did break DRS from the third driver of Firegab as Firegab just gets back in. Spanini's just on the tail end here. We'll see if he can stay within DRS. It's going to be close, hovering between the 9/10 and 1 second range.
Fire Gap does get DRS from Stubley, so the top four are still within a second.
As we'll see if Matt Duo can put on, as he does a little left then right. He's going to try and make the pass on JD going into turn 8 here. As there's contact and Matt Duo is spun. So that's going
That's
to
unfortunate.
take him out of contention as he resets the track. That is a no-no. But really unfortunate for the Aston Martin here. As that's just unfortunately not really a corner to go too wide into. As we'll go back on board for the lead here as Stubley is going to try and make the pass on Orlando. And he is going to get the pass done. Locks up again. Definitely hurting his tires here with the lockups in turn 1 every single time.
Orlando still should be feeling pretty good about his chances of winning. He is on a full set of battery, so out of the top four, he's looking like the most likely winner. If I was Stubley, I would have chosen to stay behind Orlando and gain the ERS back up. But now, the only chance for Stubley is if he can pull away from Orlando.
As
As
Spanini has lost the back of this DRS train.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, he is unfortunately out of contention for winning this race, especially with a 3-second time penalty. Hopefully, he can keep his P4. It would be his best finish of the season.
With other than these top 3, basically 2 seconds gap or more separate everybody. As Orlando looked like he was going to make the move. He did. Stubley getting loose, entering turn 11, might have got on the grass there like we were talking about in qualifying. You definitely do not want to do that, as it looks like Firegab's going to try and make the move down into turn 1.
Yeah, Fire Gap does not have a lot of ERS as well, so he'll be looking to make the move on the inside, looks like. This is just helping Orlando gain time. Now he's about 1.5 seconds. He has the battery. I think he should dump it right now and open up the gap, but he's choosing not to. Stubley maintains the position in P2. Not a lot of action elsewhere on the track here. This is probably the closest battle we have tonight.
As
As
DK hit with a 5-second speeding in the pit lane, he was pretty much out of this race anyways, unless there was a safety car, but that just hurts him even more. I mean, if Firegab and Stubley were smart, you think they would work together to try and get back to Orlando. We'll see if that is the case. Stubley not as quick on those soft tires as I thought he would be, to be fair.
Well, every time I think Orlando can open up a gap, Stubley just brings it back, brings himself back into contention. Now he's again back within a second. So I don't know if Orlando is just making mistakes or he wants Doubly for some reason to be behind him because he should be pulling away at this point.
Yeah, you would think. As Fire Gap does have a 3-second time penalty, but that shouldn't hurt him at the moment unless he gets past Stubbly. Um, that's why I'm a
Well,
bit
you never
confused why
know if they
Fire.
can. Sorry, I was just about to say you never know if they can get those penalty removed because I think he went wide going down into turn one and he gave back the positions. So it could be a 50-50 down there. So Stubbly might want to keep ahead.
That is true. That is true indeed. As we have coming to 4 laps to go here. We'll see how this finish wraps up. Really, the only battle on track at the moment.
JDTV has uh, is now behind Electric Blade by 1.5 seconds, so it looks like he might not catch up. Electric Blade on the hards is probably he's probably now faster than JD on 11 lap old mediums. So this top three is probably the fight to look out for till the end of the race.
Oh, for sure. We'll see if anybody can pass Orlando with 4 laps to go. There's another lockup down into turn one. As we got 3 different tire compounds here in the top three. We got the leader on mediums, second place on softs, and third on the hards. We'll see which color is the best color.
I think at this point, the hards might be the better tire. uh, Orlando and Fire Gap have done 11 laps on mediums and hards, respectively, and Stubbly is on 8 lap old softs. So if Fire Gap can make a move on Stubbly, he should be uh, theoretically the fastest driver on track in terms of tire wear.
You are correct on that one. It's a great rebound for Stubbly this week, as last week he did unfortunately DNF. Same with Fire Gap. So great recovery drives from these two drivers.
Stubbly, unfortunate. I think he missed Austria as well. So 2 consecutive races with no points as Fire Gap is looking to make the move on the inside of Stubbly. Going into turn one, looks like he has passed him. Stubbly might want to look to make a move on the inside, but thinks otherwise. Wisely backs out of the move. Orlando still looking pretty here with 80% ERS in his belt for the last 2 and a change laps.
As a very, I would say, clean race so far, from other than the Mad Duo spin there. Only one retiree, only one virtual safety car. That's what you love to see. I know it's probably there's few less drivers tonight, so that probably helped a little bit. But a very good race so far.
Yeah, unfortunate that everyone who couldn't race during the season is off tonight. But hopefully next week, AM2 is pretty full grid, I want to say. So next week, I think we should see most of them, if not all, on the track. The top three have definitely left Spinini now. He's fallen back, I think a second per lap almost. He's down by 5.6 seconds, just a few laps after he was left behind by these top three. Looks like Orlando still in the prime position here with 1 and a bit laps to go. Still has all the battery in the world to defend.
Yeah, Orlando's looking strong here. Really, I mean, I don't know if these guys are just trying to not pass him at the moment, because you don't really want to be leading entering the final lap with DRS, or if Orlando's just that much quicker.
Yeah, Stubbly's recharging his batteries, looks like, but it's nothing close to Orlando here. Yeah, I'm Still, Orlando is my favorite, but you never know what's going to happen in the last lap. A teeny tiny mistake, and that could cost you, P1
Yeah.
and drop all the way back to P3, maybe.
The only thing I feel though is if Stubley wants to go for the win here, he's got to get past Fire Gab. I thought before this main straight DRS zone because I would not want to be in third place coming to the last lap.
Yes, here we go. Here, it's about to start the final lap. All three drivers will be looking to get good exits. Looks like Fire Gap goes a little bit wide there. So does Stubley. Orlando takes a good line. Fire Gap is already blinking at the moment. Orlando dumping all his battery.
Smart move
Looks like
there.
they're not. Stubley trying to go around the inside, but there's no room here. He will be thinking, well, maybe the win is out of the question. Fire Gap does have a penalty. He might be happy where he is at the moment.
As we'll see, it looks like Stubley's going to try and work his way around the outside. What a horrible camera angle there. But he does not able to make it done. We'll see. Can Fire Gab get past Orlando? Again, Fire Gab could get that penalty removed. We're not too sure, so I'm sure he's going to try and fight for the win here.
Orlando's still looking strong with all the battery in the world. He'll be looking to dump it, hopefully. But here comes Fire Gab. Goes down the inside into Ascari.
Oof, lucky not to hit Orlando there. We saw that
Well,
earlier in the race.
well, that was probably his last chance because Orlando is just opening the gap with all the battery in the world. Stubley here looking to move down the inside and going into Parabolica. It'll be a close battle between them. But here is your winner. Orlando in the McLaren gets the win. Stubley goes P2. I'm not sure if he got it on track here, but Firegab gets P3. Spanini crosses the line for his first finish of the season in P4. Electric Blade gets P5 with JD in P6. Electric Blade showing out a little bit of a stunts here. F7R comes home in P8. Mad Duo, after the spin, unfortunately, comes home in P9 with, P8. Fiver in P9, and E. Warren for the Williams gets a single point, finishing out in P10.
Has got to give credit to Fiverr. That is the first points of the season for Alpine. So a very good drive for him.
Well, congratulations are in order then for the Alpine driver, Fiver. First points of the season for him and the team. 2 points. He'll be very happy with that. I did see him at the in the chat earlier saying, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna race for no points again," but he will be extremely pleased after that result.
As for the prediction in the chat, it looks like the winner is 5 different constructors. So we will sort that out after here. But congrats on whoever voted for that. As if you will take us through the finishing order once we get going here, just so I can get a photo of the finish.
Sure. So here are results from Monza here in for the Italian Grand Prix. Orlando in the McLaren gets his first win of the season. Stubley in the Aston Martin comes home in P2 with Firegab in the Mercedes in P3. I believe it's his first podium as well. Spunini gets P4, JD P5, Electric Blade in P6 with F7RJs in P7. Matt Duo, after his unfortunate spin, comes home in P8 with Fiverr in P9 and Warren rounding out the points. Chaggerty in P11 with Kane in P12. DK in P13 with Deathstorm being the only non-finisher for this race. Will score no points and finishes P14.
As we will try and get the top 3 in here for interviews, but that is your Italian Grand Prix for AM2. So I'm
I
gonna
will
pay out.
try and get them in.
I don't know
Give
how to.
me a moment, please. It is Orlando, Firegap, and Stubley.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, boys. I don't know how to pay out the channel points. So I will have to get that figured out, but I promise your channel points will get paid out. As F7R subscribes with tier 1. Appreciate that, sir. Costs deeply appreciates that. As we are just going to wait for the top 3 here. Try and get them in for some interviews. But I would say, all in all, for a small grid, that was a pretty decent Monza Grand Prix. I mean, a lot of it is just DRS train. But the little racing we did have was good. Again, unfortunate for the Matt Duo spin. And another congratulations to Fiverr scoring the first points for Alpine this season.
Yeah, it was a pretty mellow race, except for I think the top three, top four. Having a couple of fights. But yeah, all in all, I would say a clean race. Not the most exciting. Some weeks are like that. Some races are like that. And I don't think Orlando will be complaining definitely. But yeah.
So we're just waiting for one more finisher to get in here, and there they are. So we will start with our third place finisher here, Fire Gab. You looked pretty strong out there. Unfortunately, you did get the time penalty in turn 1 there. I think that was just unfortunate circumstances. How did the car feel out there for you today?
Yeah, what's a good race? Like just got the penalty turn one, so that was a bit of mistake. But like when I put the hard on the middle of the race, I knew that I was faster than everyone, but just couldn't get the move on last lap, and yeah, got the 3 seconds penalty. So anyway, I was third. So
For sure. How did the car feel out there today? Did you feel like your setup was in the right spot, or did you think you probably could have made a setup tweak?
No, I think it was good. Like when I put the odds, I was consistent, but like at the start of the race, I was doing so many mistakes. Especially like at turn one, like I was looking up like every turn. So yeah, but that's it. Huh?
For sure. You got any questions for our third place finisher, Devil?
Nothing. I think I just wanted to say congratulations. I believe this is your first podium in COS.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the first points, but I know you've had a couple of unfortunate races, but I'm sure you'll be happy to finally see your pace come to fruition with a podium
yeah,
today.
that's right.
Yep. All right. Congratulations.
And so we will move on to our second place finisher, Stubley. Took 2 weeks off from joining us here, but he is back indeed. Stubley, how did the car feel out there today?
Hey guys. Car felt fine. Definitely at the end of the race where again Fire Gab was on hards and then Orlando was on the mediums. I definitely thought that I would have had enough pace to get past him and actually create a gap, but unfortunately I did make a mistake and then that kind of probably ruined my chances of trying to pull away. So but yeah, no, car felt if I definitely feel like I was running a lower downforce setup than everyone else. So that I guess that helped me.
For sure. Do you think there's anything you could have done differently to maybe get that top step on the podium?
Um, probably not send it in the grass a couple times. That definitely didn't help. Again, probably better ERS management. I could have played my cards better, but unfortunately I didn't. So
Yeah, that
yeah.
that is unfortunate, but I mean, hey, there's always next week. A second
Yep.
place is not bad by any means.
No, no, absolutely not. And so obviously I was a little sad from last week, but I can only just hope that next week goes even better than this week. So looking forward to that.
No, for sure. I'd definitely say that is a great way to bounce back as well with a P2 there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
As Orlando, I think this is your first win of the season, maybe first podium. I don't know if I've ever talked to you before, but how did your car feel out there today?
It felt amazing. Yeah, I feel like everything was just right in the car. I was just feeling in tune with the car. The first lap. I was on softs and I lost 2 positions, but I was able to make up those positions, and I was able to make those softs last a long time. At the end, I did feel a little bit that it was already sliding, but so I let someone pass and just stick with them so I can rebuild my ERS and save it on my net stint. Towards the end of the race, it got a little bit more difficult. I didn't feel like it was as fast as, of course, the softs, but everyone was racing pretty clean, and GG's to Stubley. He did a fantastic job and really clean racing. So hopefully this is not the first or last time that I win a race here, but we'll see.
No, for sure. I got to give you credit. You looked very strong on that first stint. We were surprised how much time you were gaining towards the end of that first stint, as you were on probably the worst of tire at the end, because I think you pit around 13 maybe, but Stubley was still on the
Yeah.
mediums. So, no, I got to give you credit on that. Um, any questions for him, Dell?
Uh, no, nothing. Just congratulations. I think you drove an amazing race today. Did you feel like on the second stint, I noticed Stubley caught back up to you by like half a tenth or in a couple of laps. Was that just down to mistakes, or was it just you trying to conserve your tires, conserve your ERS, and think about the race at the end, and just manage your race? Were you just managing at that time, or was that
Uh,
a couple of mistakes?
I was managing, but I did do a lot of mistakes on my second stint. First corner, I just couldn't get it grasp on it like I did on my first stint. So he was legit catching up to me, but I still didn't want to use my battery because I knew he was probably gonna push in towards the end. But yeah, it was legit just me doing mistakes. Unfortunately, I feel like if he wouldn't have locked up a couple times or gone out, he would have probably beaten me.
Yeah, I mean, I was keeping an eye on out on your battery there, and it looked like you had almost 100%. So,
Yeah,
great job on that. Good management, and congratulations on your first win of the season.
thank you.
Okay, now with that, last congratulations to our top three finishers. But that is all for us. Tune in tomorrow. We got EU1 and AM1 action. EU1 running at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK, and then AM1 rounding out the week at 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. UK, and then on to next week at Spa, I believe. So appreciate everybody tuning in. And as I always say, keep your car on the track.